Hello, howdy, and welcome to the party. It's party time. We're celebrating. Why we're celebrating? Well, you might be able to see. Because recently we reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And so I thought it was time to have a little bit of a celebration and a catch up with you all. So I have my snacks, of course. Can't beat some peanuts, and of course champagne. So feel free to go and get yourself a glass. Oh yes, shouldn't be doing this on an empty stomach. So I thought it was well worth celebrating something that I never really thought would happen, or not for a long time. And yes, so a few weeks ago we reached that amazing milestone of 1,000 subscribers. So I wanted to do a thank you video. Thank you to you lot, of course, for supporting and subscribing. Of course, giving the credit where it is really due, and I think we know who she is. And also talk about some of the things that are coming up on the channel. Oh, and I nearly forgot. Of course, I want to give a special shout out to Michael Perry. One of the things that happens when you reach 1,000 subscribers is suddenly your channel is monetized, and it's never going to be an income. It's only just going to be pocket money. I think it's been 4 weeks since that happened, and my account has $50 in it. This is very exciting. But like I say, I wanted to give a special mention to Michael Perry because he gave me some super thanks. And I didn't even know about this. I had no idea that this was even a thing. But the super thanks, it's like a tip jar, isn't it? If you look, when you comment on one of the videos, you'll see a little $ thing at the end, and you can send a little tip. And I think, why would anybody do that for me? So this guy did, and he did it twice. He did it on the Impossible video, and he did it again on the Suddenly video. So Michael Perry, cheers, my first super thanker. Is that what you call them? We know that I wouldn't have reached this milestone if it hadn't been for a certain young lady with whom I have done some videos or made some videos about this year. And you know what I'm talking about. It is, of course, the fabulous Tori Holub. In fact, let me tell you, before I did that first reaction/analysis video back at the beginning of April, I had a whopping 88 subscribers to my channel. I know. And it had been going over a year. I began putting out stuff at the beginning of 2023. So you may have seen some of those. I did a series of videos singing songs that from my childhood, a series called Songs We Loved as a Child, and that's where you will see me and many of my imaginary brothers. Dan, of course, here was one of them, and you're going to leave me some of those, aren't you? Yeah? Okay. Dan is our bass man, and we have to watch out for him because he'll eat all the crisps if we give him the opportunity. So please save me some of those. So yeah, I did a series of videos called Songs We Loved as a Child, and it's weird how some things take off and some things don't. The first of those videos was us singing the Anne Murray song, Snowbird, and I think that's got about 5,000 views, which I was very happy with. All the other ones in the series really struggling to get past a couple of hundred views, and I know why that is. It's because I'm just a middle-aged guy that none of you have heard of, singing songs that long since went out of style, but that's my preference, you see. What can I do? So I never really expected to get any kind of decent numbers for any of this stuff, but I enjoy doing it myself, and it gives me and my brothers a chance to have a jam and come up with some of those classic great songs. Anyway, then, of course, we things took off this year when I accidentally came across this video. I was just minding my own business on YouTube, and YouTube showed me this video. It knew that I was a fan of the Carpenters, and it knew that I like harmonies. It knew that harmony singing was one of my superpowers. So it showed me this video where this young girl demonstrates how to stack the layers of harmonies in a Carpenter's song. I thought, oh, I'll have a look at that. That sounds interesting. But more interesting than the demonstration was the voice. I thought, oh, I need to hear more of this girl. And so I went down that rabbit hole, which I'm sure many of you have done, checking out all of her stuff. And it led me to do something I was never ever going to do. Never ever. And that was to make a reaction video. So it kind of was a reaction, more of a kind of a reaction analysis video. I never thought I'd do anything like that because, frankly, who's interested in my opinion on anything? But once I'd heard Tori's voice, I couldn't keep quiet. So I had to do something about that. So I made that video. And you may have seen this one called Karen Carpenter 2.0, question mark. Where we have a listen and I talk about her singing Carpenter's songs. And of course, during the course of my discovery, I've had a look at who else she does, which led me to make a second video on her singing of Olivia Newton-John songs. And the reason why I thought it was worth doing that second video was because it's a completely different voice, isn't it? She sounds gorgeous down there singing Karen Carpenter, but then she can do that lovely high stuff as well. So I thought, oh, we've got to have a look at this. So that's kind of what happened earlier on this year, and which led, of course, then to a couple of collaborations. I will talk about the reasons and how they came about. But as a result of those, I have actually seen, loads, dozens and dozens of reaction videos from all kinds of people, and it's funny how they all pick out different things that they spot. Some of them spot some of the really technical stuff, and others basically just swooning over Tori's voice. But it's been great watching all those. But then, guess what? I discovered that somebody had done a reaction video to one of my songs. Somebody had done a reaction video to the song The Disruptor. Now, I released that as a single at the beginning of the year, and I don't know if you've seen the video. I'm guessing a lot of you haven't, because it's still only got about 400 views, which is really sad, because it's flipping excellent. Let me tell you, please go and see The Disruptor video. And anyway, the red-headed stranger, as she calls herself, did a reaction to that. And the upshot, or the conclusion that was drawn at the end of her video, apparently, is that I am sweet and adorable. What can you say? Could there be two finer compliments? I was certainly happy with that. So that was really great. Anyway, speaking of my own songs, please go and check that one out. But on the subject of my own songs, I have a brand new single coming out this coming Monday. That's Monday the 14th of October. 2024. It's a song called I Just Want to Shout It, and it's a song that I wrote all about my favourite girl in the world. Who is that? Well, you'll find out when you hear that particular song. So look out for that coming out Monday. And I shot a video to go with it, so that will be out as well on Monday for you to see. And I decided what I would do for this one is I would just do a basic selfie stick video, me wandering around singing to my selfie stick in various locations. And it just so happened that I was away on holiday this summer, and there were some quite nice looking locations. So I thought I'll take my selfie stick, do a bit of that. And I was editing the video just the other day, and I was having a really good time, and there was lots of laughing going on because I got to see stuff that I didn't know was happening at the time that I was actually shooting the videos. One of the scenes is me walking around the marketplace in the town that we were at. Busy marketplace, loads of people around. And so you can imagine what many of them were thinking, seeing this weirdo walking around singing to his selfie stick. And so when editing the video, I got to see a lot of their reactions as I passed them. Maybe they're coming this way and I'm going that way, and then suddenly they're behind me and turning around, taking a double take. What? Oh, what? And some of them were quite happy to get themselves into the video, and it's quite funny, some of it. And a couple of examples of it I decided to leave in the final video. So anyway, all that's to come. Coming out on this coming Monday, so look out for that. There'll also be lots of this stuff. I've had a really prolific time lately in terms of songwriting, so there'll be lots of stuff to come of my own. I will also be doing plenty more of these, not necessarily reaction, more analysis videos. I'm not going to become a channel where people send me, so, oh, please, can you react to this? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is, when there's something that I really think needs highlighting, then I shall make a video and talk about it. And I've got a few things lined up that I think would make great candidates for that. Now then, as I promised a little bit earlier, we're going to do the story behind the Tori, how we came to make those two collaborations. Well, like I said earlier, I'd made those reaction videos because I thought she's just got the most wonderful voice I've heard in decades. And you all know how great she sounds, how much she sounds like Karen Carpenter. Anyway, a little bit after I'd made these videos, I was doing my usual YouTube watching, and I saw a video that I've seen a few times in the past, and it was the occasion when the Carpenters appeared on the Perry Como show back in 1974, and they sang a medley with each other where they sang bits of each other's songs. And the first time we get to hear Karen sing in the medley, she sings a verse of It's Impossible, and honestly, it is the most gorgeous thing. If you've never heard that, you need to go and check that out. Check out Perry Como and with the Carpenters. You'll find it on YouTube. I was so in love with that vocal, but we only got one verse from Karen because it was a medley. And I always wished that they'd gone on to record the whole song, because it sounds perfect as a Carpenter song, and it was Karen's voice being shown off at his absolute best. So it was I always thought it was a real shame we never got to hear her sing the whole song. So that got me thinking, if we want to hear Karen sing the whole song, what's the closest we can get to that? And I thought, what about if Tori has a go at this? Now, I didn't know if she even knew the song, or if she knew it, whether she even liked it. But I thought I'd take a chance. So, knowing that it was a hit for a guy, I knew it was very unlikely that Tori would find a backing track in the right key for her. So, I decided to go ahead and record a piano accompaniment for this song in the key that Karen sang it in on that particular show. And I thought, I'll send this to Tori. I have no idea what she'll say. She might be interested, she might not. And it just so happened she came back and said, oh my goodness, this is one of my absolute favourite songs. I've always wanted to do this, but I've never found a backing track. Can you believe that? You know when you take a punt on something in life that's a long shot, more often than not, it doesn't come off. You can fall flat on your face. And in fact, I wrote a song on that very subject years ago. I don't know if you're familiar with the old hit from the 60s by Ned Miller called From a Jack to a King. It's a song about a guy who fancies the most gorgeous girl in the school, but he's nothing much himself. But he thinks, in for a penny, in for a pound, let's go for it, see what happens. And in the song, he plays his ace and he wins a queen. And I thought, quite a few years ago, what about if that story had gone the other way? If he'd got up the courage to ask out the most gorgeous girl and she basically told him to get lost. What would that be like? So I decided to write a song called From a Jack to a Joker, and it ended up being very successful for me. It's actually won Single of the Year at the UK Country Awards all those years ago. But it was kind of my sort of take on having a punt at something, it's not going to come off. People are going to say, oh, go away, or whatever. But when I did this, when I sent Tori this piano track, and she absolutely loved it, and it was her favourite song, and she'd been desperate to record it, it was like serendipity, is that the word? So, about a week later, she sent me her first vocal attempt at the song, and honestly, it is literally the most loveliest thing I'd ever heard. It was everything I hoped it would be, and so much more. In fact, when it arrived, I had to go out, and so I downloaded it onto my phone and stuck my ears in for my journey, and I must have listened to her sing that over and over, probably 10 times on a loop, because it was, and honestly, I was floating on air when I heard that, because it was, I knew it would be good, but it was just even better. And you've heard the song, you've heard her sing It's Impossible, you know how great that is. It was superb. Anyway, so that came out, and my initial thought was she'll add it as another one of her shorts, but decided, of course, in the end, to put out the full version, which was great. And about a month later, you'll know if you've watched the song, if you've watched the video of the song, that Tori sings a beautiful vocal on the song, and I chip in right at the end with a couple of harmonies. And it got me thinking, a few weeks later, wouldn't it be lovely to do a duet? And so I approached her with the idea, and I made a little Spotify playlist of songs that could be possible candidates. Great classic duets and great songs from back in that era. And I sent it to Tori and said, do you fancy any one of these? And of course, as you probably know, she chose Suddenly by Cliff and Olivia. And I think at first she asked me what we were going to do. We were going to do it like an acoustic version. And in the end, we decided to try and be faithful to the original. So that was fun, producing that particular song. And, well, the rest is history. What can you say? You've seen the results. And, And so, the outcome of these various videos about and with Tori is that suddenly my subscriber base started to grow. And so, I wanted to give credit where credit is due. Cheers. Tori, you've made 2024 for me something I never in a million years would have imagined. It's been fabulous. So that's why we're celebrating. That's why we have balloons. We have and we have party poppers. Oh, here she goes. And we have peanuts. And hopefully, Dan might let me have some of those crisps. That's why we are celebrating today. So, tell all your friends. Spread the word. What I can promise is plenty of great... If you love this classic old music like I do, there's going to be plenty of it to come. And I have this single of mine that will be released on Monday is part of an album that I'm producing. They've actually been producing for years. In fact, that song that I mentioned earlier, From a Jack to a Joker, is the title track of the album. And that won its award in 2007. So that might give you as a clue as to how long I've been working on this album. I haven't been working on it because I've spent all these years producing other people's stuff. That's the day job, you see. So my my music gets put on the shelf for later. But I am getting that finished. So in the next few months, that will be out. And there'll be a few more singles in the intervening time as well. So, I'm pleased you were able to join me today. Did you get your champagne? I hope you did. I don't like drinking alone, mainly because I'm not really a drinker. But I thought this was definitely an occasion to make an exception. So thank you for joining me. And thank you for all those subscriptions. And here's to the next 1,000. Who knows? I'm not even going to predict a timeline for that. But it's been great catching up with you. So I'll catch you again on Monday when the new single is released. See you soon.